The sky over Seoul turned dark at noon. Not the darkness of storm clouds, but something worse. The massive ship blocked the sun like an eclipse that wouldn't end. "Sir, it's bigger than anything we've ever built," said Captain Lee, looking up from his radar screen. His hands shook. Defense Minister Do-hyun stood tall despite his fear. "Get me the president. Now." Within an hour, world leaders gathered in an emergency video meeting. On screens around the globe, people watched the alien ship hover over major cities. It moved from Seoul to Tokyo to Beijing in minutes, then to Moscow, Berlin, and New York. It wanted to be seen. "Our weapons are ready," said the American president. "But will they even work against that?" Do-hyun shook his head. "We must talk first. Fight later if we must." The alien ship sent a message in all Earth languages at once. It appeared on every screen, every phone, every device that could show words or make sound. "Attention, inhabitants of Earth. The Galactic Council demands your presence." The United Nations building in New York was packed. Do-hyun sat with Earth's emergency team. Across from them stood the alien, tall, with scales like a lizard, but standing on two legs. Its eyes were yellow, with black slits. "I am Kreth, voice of the Galactic Council," it said. Its mouth didn't match the words. Some kind of translator was working. "Your planet has been added to our protection zone." "Protection from what?" asked Do-hyun. "From yourselves, mostly," said Kreth. Its mouth curved in what might have been a smile. "Your species fights too much, wastes resources. The Council brings order." The American representative leaned forward. "And what does this protection cost us?" Kreth's tail swished once. "The Council demands tribute. 10,000 humans per Earth year to work in our mining operations across the galaxy." The room exploded in shouts. Do-hyun stayed quiet, watching. "This is slavery," yelled someone. "This is efficient," countered Kreth. "We have studied your planet for decades. You have too many people. We offer purpose to a small number." Do-hyun stood up slowly. "And if we refuse?" Kreth touched a device on its wrist. Above the table, a hologram appeared. It showed Earth, beautiful and blue. Then fire rained down from space. Continents burned, oceans boiled. "This is not a request," said Kreth. "The Council does not make requests." Do-hyun walked into the hidden laboratory beneath Seoul. Guards checked his ID 3 times before letting him through. "Minister Do-hyun," said Dr. Ji-woo, looking up from her work. Dark circles hung under her eyes. "I was told you were coming." "You know about our visitors?" he asked. "The whole world knows." She turned back to her computer. "What they don't know is that we've been expecting aliens for years." Do-hyun nodded. "Project Sunflower was created for this day. Are we ready?" Ji-woo pointed to a small metal box on her desk. It looked ordinary, like something that might hold jewelry. "This box contains something that should be impossible," she said. "I can make something big become very, very small without changing what it is." "Quantum compression," said Do-hyun. "Yes. We plan to use it for space travel. Put a whole colony ship in something the size of a car. Save fuel. But now we have another use for it," finished Do-hyun. "Can it work on weapons?" Ji-woo looked troubled. "It can work on anything, but there are risks. The more we compress, the less stable it becomes." "We need 6 months," said Do-hyun. "Can you have it ready?" "I already do." Ji-woo opened the box. Inside was a tiny blue cube, smaller than a sugar cube. "This contains a tank." Do-hyun stared. "A full-sized battle tank?" "Yes, and it can return to normal size with the right signal." She closed the box. "But Minister, we still don't know all the side effects." "Side effects are better than slavery or death," said Do-hyun. "How many of these devices can you make?" "In 6 months?" Ji-woo typed something on her computer. "With all of Earth's resources, thousands." Do-hyun walked into the president's office later that night. The president looked older than he had that morning. "They gave us 6 months," said Do-hyun. I convinced Kreth we need time to select and prepare the first group of tributes. 6 months won't be enough to build weapons that can fight them, said the president. We don't need to build new weapons. Do-hyun placed a folder on the desk. We need to activate Protocol Sunflower. The president's eyes widened. The emergency, first contact plan? We've never fully tested it. We never had the chance, said Do-hyun. But Dr. Jiwoo has made a breakthrough. We can hide our strength until the right moment. What do you mean? Do-hyun explained Jiwoo's quantum compression technology. As he spoke, hope returned to the president's face. So we pretend to comply, said the president. We send ships with people. Volunteers, added Do-hyun. Military personnel. And these ships also carry hidden weapons, tanks, aircraft, everything we need. Yes. When the time comes, our people will have what they need to fight. The president stood up and looked out the window at the alien ship still hanging in the sky. What makes you think we can beat them? They must have technology far beyond ours. They do, admitted Do-hyun, but they don't have everything. Dr. Jiwoo's quantum compression should be impossible by their science. They won't be looking for it because they don't believe it can exist. One surprise might not be enough. It won't be just one. Do-hyun handed over another folder. We've been detecting signals from space for years. Some were from the Council, but others came from planets they've conquered. There are many worlds under their control, and not all are happy. The president nodded slowly. We could start a rebellion. We could free the galaxy, said Do-hyun. But first, we need to free ourselves. Dr. Jiwoo worked through the night. Her lab team had gone home, but she couldn't sleep. Not with the alien ship above. Not with what she had to do. The quantum compression field was her life's work. She had discovered it by accident 5 years ago. A small error in an experiment, and suddenly a coffee mug had shrunk to the size of a grain of rice. But it was still a coffee mug, just smaller. Much smaller. The science behind it was complex. The objects didn't actually get smaller. Their atoms were pushed closer together, the empty space between them nearly gone. It should crush the object, but somehow it didn't. The laws of physics bent but didn't break. Now she had to make it. Work on a scale never tried before. Tanks, jets, weapons. And it all had to stay stable until the right moment. What if it goes wrong? She whispered to herself. The phone on her desk rang, making her jump. It was Do-hyun. The president has approved Protocol Sunflower, he said. How quickly can you scale up production? I'll need more labs, more people. I have them. Select whoever you need. This is now Earth's top priority. Jiwoo took a deep breath. There's something I haven't told you. Something about the quantum field. What is it? In some tests, when we compressed too much at once, strange things happened. Like the field affected space itself. Things moved that shouldn't have moved. Do-hyun was quiet for a moment. Can you control it? I think so. But if I'm wrong, we have no choice, Doctor. If we do nothing, we become slaves. If we fight openly, we die. Your technology is our only hope. Jiwoo looked at the small metal box on her desk. Inside was power that could save humanity. Or maybe destroy it. I understand, she said. We start tomorrow. As she hung up, the alien ship cast its shadow over her building. The darkness seemed to seep through the walls. But in that darkness, a plan was forming. A human plan that would soon shock the stars. 5 months passed quickly. Too quickly for some, not fast enough for others. Commander Han stood in front of 5,000 soldiers in an underground base. Men and women who had volunteered for what might be a one-way mission. They wore simple, gray jumpsuits with no rank markers. Nothing to show they were military. You all know why you're here, said Han. His voice was deep and steady. In 1 month, we board the tribute ships. The aliens will think we are scared workers. But we are not. The soldiers stayed quiet. They had trained in secret for months. Each of you will carry something small, Han continued. He held up what looked like a metal pill. Inside this is a weapon. Thanks to Dr. Jiwoo's technology, we can hide an army in plain sight. A young soldier raised her hand. Sir, is it true you've seen these aliens before? Han's face darkened. He rarely talked about that day 10 years ago when aliens had visited his hometown. The council had sent scouts then testing Earth's defenses. His parents and sister had been samples taken for study. They never returned. Yes, I've seen them, he said simply. And they've seen enough of us. It's time we see their world. In her lab, Dr. Jiwoo hadn't slept in days. Hundreds of scientists now worked under her, but only she fully understood the quantum compression field. Doctor, you need rest, said her assistant. Soon, said Jiwoo, not looking up from her computer. The field is showing new properties. We need to understand them before launch. On her screen, a simulation showed strange ripples in space-time around compressed objects. The larger the object, the stronger the ripples. And they had compressed very large things, entire weapon systems, vehicles, even small aircraft. Do Hyun entered the lab. He looked tired but determined. How are the preparations, he asked. The technology works, said Jiwoo. But I'm seeing side effects I don't fully understand. Will it affect the mission? No, at least not right away. But if we use too many quantum devices at once, especially the larger ones, she pointed to her screen. Space itself might react. Do-hyun nodded. We'll warn Commander Han to spread out the activations, but we can't stop now. The Council's inspector arrives tomorrow. Inspector Grax was not like Kreth. Where Kreth had been imposing, Grax was small and thin, but his black eyes missed nothing. The Council is pleased with Earth's cooperation, said Grax as he walked through the loading facility. His translator made his voice sound metallic. Many new worlds resist. At first, Do-hyun walked beside him, smiling politely. We understand the benefits of working with the Galactic Council. Indeed. Grax stopped to watch as a group of humans boarded one of the 5 massive ships. Your selection process was efficient. These humans seem healthy. Only the best for the Council, said Do-hyun, trying not to show his disgust. The ships were huge. Each could hold 2,000 people plus cargo. The Council had sent them a month ago. Earth's engineers had been studying them ever since, learning their systems, finding their weaknesses. I notice these humans carry personal items, said Grax, pointing to the small bags each person brought aboard. Religious artifacts, explained Do-hyun. They believe these tokens will protect them in the stars. A harmless superstition. Grax made a sound like a laugh. The Council has seen many religions across the galaxy. They all fade when beings see the true scope of space. But we allow such comforts, for a time. On the night before launch, Commander Han met with his team leaders in a secure room. Tomorrow we become tribute, he said. The Council thinks we are defeated, that we have accepted our place. What if their security scans our items? Asked a team leader named Seon. They won't, said Han. Minister Do-hyun has been feeding them false information for months, making us seem primitive and spiritual. They think our quantum capsules are religious charms. And if they check anyway, the quantum field blocks normal scans. Dr. Jiwoo made sure of that. To their technology, our capsules will look like simple metal or stone. Han pointed to a map of the Council station, a massive structure in orbit around Jupiter. Earth's scientists had pieced together its layout from data gathered by hidden telescopes. Once aboard the station, we'll be separated into work groups. That's when we activate Phase 1. Small items only. Personal weapons, communication devices. We establish our presence, map the real layout, and prepare for Phase 2. And Phase 2? Asked Seon. We bring out the heavy equipment, take control of key systems, and show the Council that humans are not good slaves. The team leaders nodded. Some looked scared, others determined. All knew the risk. Get some rest, said Han. Tomorrow we make history, one way or another. Launch day arrived clear and cold. Thousands gathered to watch the tribute ships leave, not knowing the truth. To the public, these were the first unfortunate people being sent to work for the alien. Masters Du Hyun stood on the launch platform with Inspector Grax. 5 enormous ships waited, their engines humming. "The Council appreciates your cooperation," said Grax. "Future tribute collections will be annual as agreed." "Of course," said Do Hyun. "Will you be overseeing those as well?" "No, I am needed elsewhere. The Council oversees many worlds." Grax's black eyes glinted. "But I will watch your humans with interest. Some species adapt well to mining work. Others, less so." The first groups of tribute workers marched toward the ships. Commander Han led one group, his face blank. As he passed Do Hyun, their eyes met briefly. "Good luck," said Do Hyun, loud enough for Grax to hear. "Serve the Council well." "We will serve as we must," replied Han, the hidden meaning clear to Do Hyun. Inside his pocket, Han carried 3 quantum capsules. One contained his personal weapons, one held communication gear, and one, the largest, contained something the Council would never expect: a fully armed Earth fighter jet, compressed to the size of a coin. In orbit, the 5 ships rose from Earth. On the main ship's bridge, Grax watched the blue planet shrink below them. "Set course for Station 6, he ordered the ship's computer. "Standard speed." Little did he know that throughout the ships, in quarters and cargo holds, 5,000 tribute workers were preparing for war. They whispered to each other, checked their hidden quantum capsules, and waited. 3 days to reach the Council station. 3 days to prepare. Back on Earth, Dr. Jiwoo monitored quantum field signatures from her lab. She could track every compressed object, feel the space-time ripples they created, like pebbles dropped in a cosmic pond. "Be careful," she whispered, though no one could hear her. "Don't activate too many at once." Her latest simulations had shown something troubling. When multiple large objects were decompressed in close proximity, the quantum fields created interference patterns. Those patterns could tear small holes in reality itself. She had told Do Hyun, who had informed Commander Han. "Use the weapons carefully, space out the activations. Don't decompress everything at once, but in the heat of battle would they remember?" "The troops are away," said Do Hyun, entering her lab. "Now we move to Phase 2. "The orbital defenses?" asked Jiwoo. Do Hyun nodded. "How soon can we deploy them?" "The platforms are ready. We can launch tonight, under cover of darkness." Hundreds of defense satellites, each armed with weapons that shouldn't exist by Council science, all hidden by the same quantum technology that hid tanks inside coins. "Earth will not be defenseless when the Council learns what we've done," said Do Hyun. Jiwoo looked up at the ceiling, imagining the tribute ships moving through space. "I hope they're ready for what comes next," she said. "Because the Council surely isn't." The Council station hung in space near Jupiter like a metal spider. 5 rings spun around a central hub, connected by long spokes. Lights blinked across its surface. It was beautiful in a cold, alien way. Commander Han looked out the ship's window as they approached. His heart beat faster, but his face showed nothing. "Tribute ships, you are cleared for docking," said a voice over the ship's speakers. "Proceed to bays 12 through 16. The ship shuddered as it slowed. Han turned to his people. "Remember, you're training," he said quietly. "Act humble. Keep your heads down. Wait for my signal." The 5 ships docked one by one. With a hiss of air, the doors opened. Council guards waited on the other side. Tall reptiles like Kreth with scales and tails. They carried long staffs that glowed at the tips. "Exit in single file," ordered one guard. "Keep your belongings close. You will be scanned and sorted." Han was first off the ship. He clutched his small bag containing the quantum capsules. Around his neck hung a simple metal pendant, not a religious symbol as the Council thought, but a communication device. The humans were marched through long corridors to a massive room. The ceiling was so high it disappeared in shadows. Hundreds of scanning gates stood in rows. "Remove all clothing," ordered a guard. "Pass through the scanners one by one." Han had expected this. He turned to his people and nodded slightly. They began to undress without complaint. The quantum capsules they carried looked like simple metal beads to the naked eye. Most wore them, on strings around their necks or wrists, religious charms that the council had been conditioned to ignore. When Han's turn came, he walked through the scanner. It hummed and flashed green. The guard looked at a screen. "Clean," he said, sounding disappointed. "Proceed to processing." On the other side of the scanners, they were given new clothes, simple jumpsuits with different colors marking different work groups. Hans was blue, marking him for technical work. Others wore red for mining, green for agriculture, yellow for maintenance. "This works in our favor," Han whispered to Sion, who wore the same blue. "We'll be assigned to technical areas, closer to control systems." They were led to separate housing areas based on their colors. Guards showed little interest in them now that scanning was done. Humans were just another species to process. The council had done this many times before. In his small room, Han sat on the hard bed and waited. 3 hours until first shift. 3 hours to prepare. He took out one quantum capsule, a small silver bead. He pressed it in a special way and whispered, "Secure comm activate." The bead grew warm, not larger, just warmer. Inside, quantum particles rearranged themselves. The capsule still looked the same, but now it was broadcasting on frequencies the council didn't monitor. Han put the pendant around his neck. "All team leaders, report status." One by one, voices came through the pendant. Each team was in position. The quantum capsules had passed the scans undetected. Phase 1 was complete. "Prepare for Phase 2, said Han. 10 hours from now, 0300 station time. Back on Earth, Dr. Jiwoo stared at her monitors in horror. "The quantum fields are destabilizing faster than I predicted," she said to Do-hyun. "The compression of so many objects is affecting space-time around the station." "Can Han still use the weapons?" asked Do-hyun. "Yes, but there's a new risk." She pointed to swirling patterns on her screen. "If too many large objects are decompressed at once, especially in the same area, it could create a tear in space-time." "What does that mean?" "A wormhole. A door to somewhere else." Jiwoo rubbed her tired eyes. "I need to warn Han." She tried to send a message through their secure channel, but static filled the screen. "The quantum distortion is affecting our communications," she said. "I can't reach him." On the station, Han was led to his work assignment. The blue jumpsuits worked in the station's maintenance systems, watching gauges, pressing buttons when told. The work was simple by design. The council didn't trust tribute workers with anything complex. "Human, watch this gauge," said a supervisor, pointing to a dial. "If it goes into the red zone, press this button." "Yes, master," said Han, bowing his head. The words tasted bitter in his mouth. As he worked, Han observed everything. How many guards were on each level, where the security systems were located, which areas were restricted. He memorized it all. When his shift ended, he returned to his quarters. The pendant warmed against his chest as team leaders reported in. Each had mapped their assigned areas. Each was ready. "Tomorrow we take back our freedom," Han told them. "And we show the council what humans can do." That night, as most of the station slept, Han removed his second quantum capsule. This one was larger, the size of his thumbnail. It contained weapons for his team, not just guns, but special devices designed to hack council systems. He pressed the capsule in a complex pattern and whispered, "Weapons deploy." The capsule grew hot. Then it began to expand. Slowly at first, then faster. In seconds, where there had been a small bead, there was now a case the size of his hand. He opened it to find 20 small weapons and 10 electronic devices, all perfectly formed despite having been compressed to near nothing. Han distributed the weapons to his team leaders when they met in a storage room. No cameras watched here. They had found the blind spots in the council's security. "At Aero 300 we strike," said Han. "Team 1 takes communications. Team 2 takes security systems. Team 3 takes the command center." "What about the other tribute ships?" asked a woman named Mina. "The ones that will come after us?" "If we succeed, there won't be any more tribute ships," said Han. "Ever." In another part of the station, behind locked doors, Han's team had found something unexpected. Other aliens wearing jumpsuits similar to theirs. Tributes from other worlds. Some looked almost human. Others had extra limbs or strange-colored skin. All had the same defeated look. "Can we free them?" asked Sion. "We will free everyone," promised Han. At exactly 0300, Han pressed his third quantum capsule, the largest one, the one containing something that would change everything. "Liberator, deploy," he whispered. The capsule grew hot, then very hot. He placed it quickly on the floor of the large cargo bay where his team had gathered. The bay doors were sealed. No guards were present. "Everyone back," ordered Han. "Give it space." The capsule glowed bright blue. Space itself seemed to bend around it. With a sound like thunder, it expanded faster and faster, larger and larger. In seconds, where there had been a small bead, there was now a full-sized fighter jet. Its metal skin gleamed under the lights. Weapons bristled from its wings. "By the stars," whispered Sion. It really worked. Similar scenes played out across the station as other teams activated their heavy equipment. Tanks appeared in corridors. Armed transport vehicles materialized in docking bays. Weapon systems deployed in strategic locations. Alarms began to wail throughout the station. The council's surprise was complete. In the command center, the station master stared at security feeds in disbelief. "Impossible," he hissed. "How did they bring weapons aboard? How did they hide them from our scanners?" "Sir, the humans are taking control of multiple systems," reported an officer. "They have technology we've never seen before. Send all guards, kill them all," ordered the station master. But it was too late. The humans had planned too well. Their quantum-hidden weapons gave them the advantage of complete surprise. Han led his team toward the command center. Council guards fired energy weapons at them, but the humans had studied council tactics. They knew how to fight back. "For Earth," shouted Han as they pushed forward. On Earth, Dr. Jiwoo watched in horror as her monitors showed massive quantum distortions around the station. "Too many activations." "At once," she whispered. "The field is collapsing." "What does that mean for our people?" asked Do-hyun. Before she could answer, a new alert sounded. Her screen showed a massive council battleship emerging from what looked like a hole in space near Mars. "They've called for reinforcements," said Do-hyun. "We need to deploy our orbital defenses now." As Jiwoo worked to stabilize the quantum field, she couldn't help but wonder, had they just started something they couldn't finish? Alarms blared throughout the council station. Red lights flashed in every corridor. Council guards ran in confusion as humans appeared where they shouldn't be, armed with weapons that shouldn't exist. Han and his team fought their way toward the command center. The council guards had better weapons, but the humans had surprise and determination. And they had studied their enemy. "Their armor is weak at the joints," Han called out as they took cover behind a fallen door. "Aim there." The guards fell back, as more humans joined the fight. With each passing minute, more quantum capsules were activated. More weapons appeared. The humans were no longer pretending to be tribute workers. They were an army. In the station's command center, the station master watched in horror as his screens showed humans taking control of key areas. "How is this possible?" he demanded. "These primitives should have no weapons." An officer approached him, fear in his yellow eyes. "Sir, they're using some kind of compression technology. Things are appearing." "Compression? That violates basic physics." "Nevertheless, it's happening, and they're broadcasting." "Broadcasting what?" The officer activated a screen. On it was Commander Han standing in front of a council banner. His message was being sent to every screen on the station and beyond. "People of the galaxy," said Han. "I am Commander Han of Earth. For too long, the Council has taken tribute from worlds across the stars. They call it protection. We call it slavery." The station master hissed in anger. "Cut that transmission." "We can't, sir. They've locked us out of communication systems." On Earth, Do-hyun watched Han's broadcast with pride. It was being received on every Earth device. Soon, it would reach other worlds too. "Today, humans from Earth have taken control of a council station," Han continued on screen. We have discovered we are not alone in our suffering. Dozens of worlds pay tribute to the Council. Together, we can end this. Minister called an aid. The Council battle fleet has entered Earth orbit. 5 large ships. Do-hyun nodded calmly. Activate defense grid. Across Earth, military commanders entered special codes. In space, thousands of small objects that had been hidden in orbit suddenly expanded. Where there had been nothing visible, now hung Earth's secret defense. Hundreds of armed satellites and automated fighters. The quantum field is still unstable, warned Dr. Jiwoo over the command link. Be careful how many you activate at once. Too late for caution, said Do-hyun. The Council is here. On the Council station, Han and his team finally reached the command center. The doors were sealed, but one of the human engineers had already hacked the system. Stand back, she said, typing on a small device. The massive metal doors slid open. Inside, Council officers turned in surprise. The station master stood in the center, his scales dark with rage. You will regret this, humans, he snarled. The Council has crushed rebellions before. Not like this one, said Han, stepping forward. Your scans didn't detect our weapons because you believed they couldn't exist. That's your weakness. You think you know everything. The station master lunged at Han, but a human soldier fired first. The station master fell, wounded but alive. Secure them, ordered Han. Don't kill unless necessary. As his team took control of the command systems, Han noticed a door at the back of the room. It was different from the others, ornate, with strange symbols. What's in there? He asked a captured officer. Nothing that concerns tribute, hissed the officer. Han nodded to Sion, who forced the door open. Inside was not more control systems as Han had expected, but a room full of aliens in formal clothes. They looked up in fear as the humans entered. Who are you? Asked Han. One of them stood up. She looked almost human, except for her silver hair and violet eyes. I am Gina, she said. Representative of Nexus Prime, like you, my world pays tribute to the Council. Han lowered his weapon. You're prisoners? Administrators, corrected Gina. We manage our own people for the Council. It's the only way our worlds survive. In orbit around Earth, the battle had begun. The Council ships fired on Earth's defense grid, destroying dozens of satellites. But there were hundreds more, appearing from quantum hideaways all around Earth's orbit. Earth's hidden weapons fired back. Beams of energy cut through space. The smallest Council ship exploded in a ball of fire. On the main defense command station, Do-hyun watched the battle unfold. The Council didn't expect resistance, he said. They thought we would be easy to crush. Minister, called a communications officer. We're receiving signals from other planets. They've seen Commander Han's broadcast. Some are rising up against Council forces. Do-hyun smiled grimly. It's working. The revolution has begun. Back in her lab, Dr. Jiwoo worked frantically to understand the quantum distortions growing around both the Council station and Earth. The field is becoming dangerously unstable, she told her team. All these activations at once are tearing at space-time. On her screens, strange patterns formed in the quantum field. They looked like cracks spreading across glass. If they grew larger, they might form a wormhole, a hole in space itself. Can we control it? Asked an assistant. Jiwoo stared at the data, her mind racing. Maybe we don't need to control it. Maybe we can use it. She grabbed her communicator. Do-hyun, I have an idea, a dangerous one. On the Council station, Han and Gina talked while his team secured the rest of the facility. The Council isn't as strong as they want us to believe, said Gina. They control many worlds, but their forces are stretched thin. Most planets are kept in line through fear, not actual military presence. How many worlds? Asked Han. 47 currently pay tribute. Some have been under Council control for centuries. Han looked at the station's main display. It showed the battle at Earth. Your people fight well, said Gina, but the Council will send more ships. They cannot allow this rebellion to succeed. Then we'll need allies, said Han. He turned to his communications officer. Can we send Gina's people home? Let them spread the word about what Earth has done? We control the transport bays now, said the officer. It's possible. Gina's eyes widened. You would let us go? Just like that? We didn't come here to become the new masters, said Han. We came to end slavery for everyone. As Gina prepared to leave with other alien representatives, Han received an urgent message from Earth. It was Dr. Jiwoo. Commander, the quantum field around the station is highly unstable, she said. Her voice crackled with static. But we might be able to use that to our advantage. How? Asked Han. If we create a controlled quantum collapse, we could generate a temporary wormhole. It might transport the Council fleet away from Earth, far away. Is it safe? Jiwoo hesitated. No, but it may be our only option if they send reinforcements. Han looked at the battle display again. The Council ships were regrouping. More were appearing at the edge of the solar system. Send me the details, he said. We'll be ready. As the communication ended, Gina approached Han. Your world has technology the Council thought impossible, she said. If you succeed today, you will change the balance of power in the galaxy. We just want to be free, said Han. Freedom is the most dangerous idea of all, replied Gina. That's why the Council fears it so much. She held out her hand in a gesture of friendship. Han took it, feeling for the first time that Earth was not alone in the stars. Go home, he told her. Tell your people what you've seen here. Tell them, Earth stands with them. As Gina's transport pulled away from the station, Han turned back to the battle display. The Council's main fleet was approaching Earth. The real test was about to begin. The Council's main battle fleet arrived at Earth 3 days later. 12 massive ships, each larger than the 5 that came before. They moved into attack formation above Earth's North Pole. In the Defense Command Center, Do-hyun watched them, with steady eyes. They've come with everything they have, he said. This is their full strength. A communications officer called out, Minister, we're receiving a transmission from the lead ship. The main screen lit up. An older reptilian alien appeared, its scales darker than Kreth's or Grax's. Around its neck hung many metal symbols, marks of rank. I am High Commander Draz of the Galactic Council, it said. Your rebellion ends today. Do-hyun stood tall. This is not a rebellion, High Commander, this is a revolution. Call it what you wish, hissed Draz. It dies here. Return control of our station. Surrender your fighters. Resume tribute payments. Do this and we may spare your cities. We have a counteroffer, said Do-hyun. Leave Earth space. Free all tribute worlds. Form a fair alliance. With equal rights for all species, do this and we may spare your fleet. Draz made a sound like rocks grinding together, a laugh. You think one small victory makes you our equal? The Council has ruled the stars for 10,000 years. Your species was still living in caves when we built our first starships. Yet here we are, said Do-hyun. With technology you thought impossible and allies you never expected. Allies. Draz looked confused. What allies? The screen split to show another image. Commander Han on the captured Council station. Beside him stood representatives from 7 different alien worlds. All former tribute planets. Their ships had arrived. In the hours after Gina spread the word, the Council's time is ending, said Han. Your empire was built on fear, not strength, and fear only works until someone stands up to you. Draz's scales darkened with rage. You will regret this defiance. The transmission cut off. They're powering. Weapons, reported a sensor officer. Do-hyun nodded. Begin quantum defense protocol and contact Dr. Jiwoo. It's time for her special project. On the captured Council station, now renamed Freedom Station, Han and his new allies watched Earth's defense systems activate. Thousands of quantum-hidden weapons platforms appeared, surrounding Earth like a shield of metal and energy. Impressive, said Gina, who had returned with ships from her world. But will it be enough? It doesn't need to be, said Han. It just needs to hold them long enough. He turned to his communications officer. Contact Dr. Jiwoo. Tell her to begin Project Wormhole. In her lab deep beneath Seoul, Dr. Jiwoo received the message. She had not slept in days, working to understand and control the quantum field distortions. Now she would put theory into practice. Begin quantum field manipulation, she ordered her team. Target coordinates, Council fleet. Around the world, special quantum generators activated. They didn't create weapons or ships. They created something much stranger, a controlled distortion in space-time itself. Field stability at 60%, reported an assistant. Falling quickly. That's expected, said Jiwoo. Keep going. On her screens, the quantum field around Earth pulsed and twisted. Energy readings spiked higher than anything they had seen before. In space, between Earth and the Council fleet, something began to form. A swirling disk of energy, growing larger by the second. Is that? Began an assistant. A wormhole, confirmed Jiwoo. A door to somewhere else. The battle began as the Council ships fired on Earth's defenses. Energy beams cut through space. Earth's platforms fired back. Explosions lit up the sky, visible even in daylight. Do-hyun watched as the first line of defenses fell. The Council ships were powerful, but they didn't see the real threat growing between them and Earth, the swirling energy disk that was now large enough to swallow a ship. They don't understand what they're seeing, said Do-hyun. Good. He turned to his tactical officer. Activate defense pattern Delta. Drive them toward the wormhole. Earth's defense platforms shifted, their fire concentrated on one side of the Council fleet. The massive ships began to move away from the attack, directly toward the growing wormhole. Hi, Commander Draz is hailing us again, said the communications officer. Ignore it, ordered Do-hyun. Keep pushing them back. In space, the first Council ship drifted too close to the wormhole. Energy tendrils reached out, grabbing the ship like hungry fingers. The massive vessel tried to pull away, engines flaring, bright. But the pull was too strong. With a flash of light, the ship vanished into the wormhole. On Freedom Station, Han and his allies cheered. It's working, shouted Sion. They're being pulled in. One by one, the Council ships were caught by the wormhole. Some fired desperately at Earth. Others tried to escape. None succeeded. Within minutes, the entire Council fleet had vanished. Where did they go? Asked Gina. According to Dr. Jiwoo, about 50 light-years away, said Han. Far enough that it will take them years to return, even with their fastest ships. You could have destroyed them, said another alien representative. Why didn't you? Han looked out at the stars. Because we're trying to build something better than the Council, not become them. 1 week later, representatives from 23 former tribute worlds gathered on Freedom Station. The Council's grip on the galaxy had broken. When word spread of Earth's victory, planet after planet rose up against their oppressors. In the largest meeting room, Do-hyun stood before the gathered aliens. Earth's quantum technology had been shared with all of them, with safety protocols to prevent misuse. We stand at the beginning of a new age, said Do-hyun. For too long, the Council ruled through fear and force. We propose something different, a galactic alliance of equals. The room buzzed with excited conversation. Many species that had been enemies under Council rule now spoke as potential friends. Gina stepped forward. Earth has shown us what is possible when we stand together. My world, Nexus Prime, supports this alliance. One by one, the representatives voiced their support. Not all. Some worlds were cautious, afraid the Council might return, but most saw the chance for something new. What of the Council worlds themselves? Asked a representative with blue fur. They will not simply disappear. No, they won't, agreed Do-hyun. And when they return, we will offer them the same choice we offer. Everyone, join as equals or stay apart. But the days of tribute are over. 3 months later, Dr. Jiwoo stood with Commander Han on the observation deck of Freedom Station. Below them, Earth shone blue and beautiful. The quantum technology has been stabilized, she said. No more unexpected wormholes. Good, said Han. Though that one worked out well for us. Jiwoo smiled. Sometimes the most dangerous ideas turn out to be the most useful. A ship appeared from hyperspace. a trading vessel from a distant world, come to establish relations with the new alliance. More arrived every day as news spread across the galaxy. "What do you think will happen when the council returns?" asked Jiwoo. Han watched the stars. "They'll find a different galaxy than the one they ruled. Maybe they'll learn to live in it. Maybe not. And if they choose war again, then they'll discover that what shocked them the first time was just the beginning," said Han. "Earth didn't just offer the stars technology or military strength. We offered something the council never understood." "What's that?" asked Jiwoo. "Hope," said Han. "When the council demanded tribute, Earth gave the galaxy hope instead." As they watched, another ship arrived from a distant star. On its side was painted Earth's new symbol, a quantum field surrounding a handshake. The sign of the Galactic Alliance, born from the day when the council demanded tribute, and what Earth did next shocked the stars. The end.